All right, let's jump right into this explainer. Today, we're going to completely change how we look at depression. For decades, society has fundamentally misunderstood this condition as strictly a mood disorder, something purely emotional. But the clinical data tells a profoundly different story. In this explainer, we're moving far away from that outdated idea and revealing the truth. Depression is a systemic, whole-body condition that simultaneously impacts your physical health, your neurological function, and your emotional well-being. It is a full system event. Here's our roadmap for today. First, more than a mood. Second, the physical toll. Third, building daily defenses. And fourth, safe and smart management. Let's get into it. Section 1. More than a mood. It is time to shatter the stigma. This comparison right here really highlights the huge gap between what people think depression is and what it actually is. The traditional mental perception is just sadness, emotional distress, or that terribly harmful idea that it's all just in your head. But the systemic reality, it's vastly different. We are literally talking about active cellular inflammation in the brain, somatic pain radiating through the body, and severe circadian disruption. So this isn't just about feeling down. It's a profound disruption of your body's biological rhythms and cellular health. Moving on to Section 2, the physical toll. Let's look at the bodily manifestations. Now, this is where we really validate those severe physical disruptions. If we map out these symptom categories to their physical realities, we see that energy depletion isn't just feeling a little tired. No, it manifests as chronic, severe fatigue and a literal feeling of heavy limbs that makes even basic daily tasks totally exhausting. And circadian disruption, that shows up as severe insomnia or unrefreshing hypersomnia, meaning you oversleep but wake up with absolutely zero energy. Then we have somatic pain. We're talking unexplained tension headaches, chronic back pain, muscle soreness, and even severe gastrointestinal distress like nausea or cramping. We even see metabolic changes causing sudden weight fluctuations and psychomotor alterations, which is this visible slowing down of your speech and movement. Or sometimes the exact opposite, severe physical restlessness. This is absolutely crucial to understand because it proves the physical exhaustion and pain are entirely real. It totally removes that guilt so many people feel about their fatigue. And that brings us to this incredibly powerful number, 57%. Clinical data actually demonstrates that implementing targeted, structured, daily habits can mitigate these depressive symptoms and lower the recurrence risks by up to 57%. To put that into perspective, that is a massive margin of control that you can reclaim through systemic lifestyle interventions. Which leads us right into Section 3, building daily defenses. Let's talk about some evidence-based tools. We'll kick things off with a super fascinating field called nutritional psychiatry. Basically, think of this as your body's internal armor. By adopting a Mediterranean-style diet, one that's packed with omega-3 fatty acids, whole foods, and lean proteins, you are actively handing your brain the exact raw materials it needs to fight back. These specific foods act as a daily defense to actively reduce brain inflammation and oxidative stress. So you aren't just eating to fuel your body anymore. You're literally eating to biochemically soothe your brain. And this nutritional armor is incredibly effective when you pair it with our next tool, neurosomatic calming. Basically, this is the practice of daily mindfulness meditation. Now, sure, we usually hear about meditation as just a way to relax, but clinically speaking, it's used specifically to biologically lower your cortisol, which is your primary stress hormone. By lowering that cortisol, you physically interrupt and break those relentless negative thought loops. It's a direct biological intervention, just using your own focused attention. Pretty amazing, right? We can actually build this defense system out into a complete routine using some really accessible daily tools. First up, aerobic physical activity. Something as simple as brisk walking serves as a natural antidepressant because it stimulates both endorphin release and neuroplasticity in the brain. Next is sleep regulation. This means keeping strict, identical wake and sleep times to stabilize your biological clock and fix those neurocognitive deficits. Third, we have environmental support. Securing just 15 to 30 minutes of direct morning sunlight regulates your serotonin production and your sleep-wake cycles. It acts as an absolute anchor for your brain's clock. And finally, substance elimination, cutting out alcohol and nicotine. These are chemical depressants that actively worsen your long-term mood stability. Put all of these together, and you've got a profound daily defense shield. All right, Section 4, safe and smart management, setting clinical boundaries. Because this condition drains your energy and taxes your system so heavily, you really have to start with what the data calls micro steps. You absolutely cannot overhaul your entire life overnight. Step 1? Well, that might just be a 5-minute walk. Step 2 could simply be adding a single portion of vegetables to one meal. And step 3 is gradually scaling up. The main takeaway here is that your implementation should start incredibly small to avoid overwhelming an already fatigued system. We want to safely build momentum here, not cause a total system crash. Now, as we look at taking action, we really need to talk about safety. You must exercise extreme caution with supplements. Over-the-counter herbal remedies like St. John's wort or SAM, they're widely available, sure, but they carry severe risks of dangerous drug interactions. They should literally never be taken without a physician's approval. I mean, just because something is natural definitely doesn't mean it's harmless, especially when you're dealing with a systemic biological condition. Finally, please always remember this ultimate clinical boundary. Home management is a fantastic complement to professional care, but it never, ever replaces therapy or medication for moderate to severe depression. Immediate professional intervention is absolutely necessary if symptoms worsen or if any safety risks arise. These tools are meant to work alongside your doctor's care, definitely not in place of it. To wrap up our explainer today, I want to leave you with a final thought to really reflect on. We've completely reframed this condition today. So armed with the knowledge that depression is a systemic physical condition and not just a mood, what small, compassionate micro-step will you take to support your body today? Thank you so much for joining me, and I really hope this new perspective empowers you to take control of your daily defenses.